Oh, sorry. Hello. Hi everyone. We're here with the lovely Sebastian Bryce, one of the big Burberry models, but also just a nice man in general. Not just a Burberry model. So I'm just going to get straight into it, Seb. What did you want to be growing up?
What did I want to be? I don't think I gave it much thought in the beginning, but sort of around age 10 I realised that I wanted to focus on music. And then when I got to sort of 13 I started writing songs, and I've been playing guitar for a couple of years at that point, and played in a bunch of different bands and stuff, and then I just kind of focused in on that. But I did a lot of sports when I was a kid and stuff, so I was just kind of open to anything. Really.
How many bands did you play in?
Probably about 5 bands when I was living in Denmark, because I grew up there. And then I came over here and studied music and everything, so kind of led to a lot more.
I wanted to be in a band. I tried to be in a band.
Did you?
Yeah.
I know you used to sing, didn't you?
Yeah, I did sing, but anyway, we don't talk about that.
Right. Okay.
How did you start modelling?
I got scouted in Amsterdam, and it was pretty surreal.
We've got tea, by the way.
It's really good tea.
It's good tea, actually. Yeah, go on.
I see. I was just walking down the street, me and Nat, and this guy came up to me randomly and just asked, he was like, "Are you with an agency? Do you want to model?" And I just thought it was a scam.
Is it weird when people do that? I'd be a bit like,
it's a bit dodgy in Amsterdam.
It's like, I'd be a bit like,
what you want.
But what did you do? Did you react straight away? Because I know this happens a lot.
About it. I forgot about it. He gave me a card, and he put me through to Models One in London.
Had you heard of them?
And my girlfriend persuaded me to get in touch with them.
Right.
So I emailed them some pictures and stuff, and then they wanted me to come up to London and spent a couple of hours at the agency, and then they did a test shoot in Dulwich, and that was my first shoot, and that was really weird as well, because we just my dad drove me up, and we arrived, and it was just kind of a dull row of houses, and kind of thought, this is a bit weird. But it was all fine, and then they ended up signing me after that. So,
cool. Yeah. And then when did you get your first job from that?
Not long after, because I went to see Elliot for Burberry, and I did my first Burberry job was Burberry Accessories or something like that. So
was that your first job?
That was my first proper job.
Not bad first job, eh?
It was alright. They booked me for 3 days, I remember, and it was that was surreal, because that's when it's a whole new world, and you're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Were you nervous?
Yeah. Yeah, I was nervous. But it went well. And that just kind of led me to working for Burberry quite a lot after that.
Great.
Yeah.
It's just been quite a bit.
It has,
yeah. Okay, who would you like to be if you weren't you?
Well,
if you weren't Sebastian Bryce.
I thought about that question, and I genuinely, I'm fine being me.
You like being
I don't really want to be anyone else.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
I thought that to myself. I thought that's good. That's a good answer. So
yeah. Do you know a lot of people actually answer that question like that?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, they go, "I'd like to be me, but just maybe a little bit richer, or a little." I'd like to be me, but a bit skinnier.
Right.
But yeah, it's surprising how many people actually say they quite like to stay themselves, which is good.
Yeah.
So where do you live now?
I live in Bath. Well, actually, just outside of Bath, in the countryside. Yeah.
Any particular reason you're in Bath, or is it just?
I studied there, and then I met my girlfriend, and then we moved in together, and we just got engaged. And so we're just sort of living out in the countryside now, and really enjoying that.
And how long does it take you to get to London?
I got to drive into Bath, and then I get the train, so it's about just under 2 hours.
So what about when you travel elsewhere? Do you come up to London first, or stay the night? Or
usually.
Yeah.
You can fly from Bristol, but there's not that many flights from there, so it's easier to go to Heathrow.
So tell us, what's your family background again? You said you are...
I am half Danish and half English.
Right.
My dad is the English side, but I grew up in Denmark and lived there till I was 16. So I went to school and everything, speak the language.
Fluent,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Do you speak any other languages?
No.
No.
I learnt German while I was at school, but
Mhm.
I've really forgotten
Are they similar?
most of it.
Danish.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
German.
Danish is a sort of Germanic language,
Yeah.
but they're not that similar at the same time.
But
It's
if
like-
somebody spoke German around you, would you sort of be able to
I might be able to
understand?
pick up a few things,
Mm.
also because I learned a bit of it. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like we can understand Norwegians fairly well,
Oh, right.
but Swedes are much harder to understand.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't really get what a Swedish person is. Usually, if I meet a Swedish model or something, we end up speaking English.
Right,
So-
right. But then most people do speak English now, don't they?
Yeah.
Sort of,
And Scandinavians are amazing, like,
Mhm.
because you don't have like overdubbed television, it's all just subtitles, so
Mhm.
you're hearing the language
yeah.
instead of kind of like Italy and France where they have American TV series and English
Yeah.
series, but it's all overdubbed,
Mm.
so they don't hear the language.
That's how I learnt a lot when I moved to Italy when I was really young, and I learnt Italian like that. I watched Italian TV
Yeah.
and just literally listened to it, and even if it was an English show, it would be dubbed in Italian, so
Mm.
I had no choice but to
No, I
listen
know.
to it.
Yeah.
It was a good way to learn a language.
Yeah, for
anyway.
sure.
If you could change, well, I was going to say, if you could change one thing in your city, Bath's a city, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
but you're sort of living outside of
We are.
Bath.
Yeah.
If
I've
you could-
been around there for 6 years now,
Right.
so I know it quite well.
But if you could change one thing, what would it be?
I don't really know.
Or is there nothing you want to change? Is it that perfect? Is
I
it
don't
that
mind it.
idealistic?
The thing is, I get the mix of both. Like, I get to go to London quite often abroad, so
Yeah.
coming back there is really nice.
Mm.
It's really nice not being in London.
Mm.
That's kind of the reason I've stayed there.
Yeah.
It's because it's just a bit more quiet. And you can get the train up to London, so it's not like I'm
Yeah.
isolated or anything.
Do you think you'd ever have somewhere in London?
Yeah, I've had the money.
Book him more. He needs more work so he can buy a flat in London. Okay, what are you into right now then? So this could be anything: music, fashion, art, food. What's your things right now?
Music, of course.
Yeah.
Because, first and foremost, especially before I was modelling, I considered myself a musician, and I
Yeah.
still kind of want to consider myself that. Even though modelling, I'm lucky enough for it to have become my sort of full-time job now.
Mm. But do you
I
consider
really-
modelling as a profession?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah, completely.
Mm.
I don't see it as like a creative output, because
No.
as a model you don't get any creative output.
No, it's not that creative.
No,
for you,
no,
is it?
It's in fact very dull.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a so I mean, if you're obviously music-wise, I guess really what you're into is probably because you have your own band, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Me and my fiance, we have a duo together.
what are you
And,
called?
We're called Bryson Farmer. Yeah. And yeah, it's really exciting. We've been writing for the last 7 months. We've got about over 40 songs now,
Wow.
and that's all going to be
That's about
compiled
4
around-
albums.
It is, but we're going to select about 10 of them, which is a really hard part because you love all the songs you've written usually. So it's going to be quite a hard selection process, and we're sort of looking to find the right producer for the album and everything. But yeah, it's moving forward slowly.
Is it easy for you to write music?
Yeah, but it gets easier. It's like with anything, that especially songwriting, the more you write songs and force yourself to write songs, the easier it gets,
Yeah.
the quicker it gets.
Who writes what in the band with you?
Well, she's kind of classically trained, so
Mhm.
she plays a bunch of different instruments and comes at it from a different angle to me. I'm not as classically trained as that, but I have a lot of ideas that I'm constantly recording onto my phone.
Right.
So I'm always coming up with snippets for songs.
Do you walk
And
down
then-
the road and be a bit like start singing into your phone?
It's a bit weird.
I've got
but
suddenly
yeah, I
thought of
do
something, yeah.
sometimes. Yeah. So that's
Cool.
kind of how we do it.
Yeah. And what about like fashion and art and things like that? What are you into right now?
In terms of fashion, I'm just really into quality. Like, I'm not. Of course, I like good labels, but I'm more into the quality than the label. So
Do you think modelling has introduced you more into labels than you knew
yeah,
about
perhaps,
before?
and perhaps there's a bit more pressure to wear
Mm.
nicer stuff. Well, of course there is, because you're kind of selling yourself. So
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
that's the way it is.
Is that weird doing that?
No, I mean, I've always liked wearing nice clothes, and I've
Mhm.
always been into that.
You're
so-
very well presented.
Thank you.
Whenever I see you. Okay, I've asked you about the band, so
Yeah.
so I'm going to move on to your top 10 favourite songs, which I know you said was difficult.
I have an
to
app
choose.
for that.
The top 10 app.
Right, so my 10 favourite songs in no particular order.
God, that's like the X Factor.
James Taylor, a song called Copperline.
Mm-hmm.
Joni Mitchell, River, which is off the Blue album.
Yeah,
amazing song. Neil Young, I love a lot of Neil Young music. But I kind of just had to pick one. It's so hard. But
Yeah.
Only Love Can Break Your Heart is brilliant. Radiohead, a great song called There There. Beatles, Come Together. The Doors, Riders on the Storm. Fleet Foxes, which is a new band from Seattle.
Oh.
A band I'm really into at the
What
moment.
kind of music would you say?
Kind of like Crosby, Stills and Nash. So they
Cool.
sound very 70s, but
Mm.
I mean, you can kind of tell from the songs that I'm picking that that's the
Yeah.
music I'm into. Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way.
It's one of my favourite Fleetwood
It's
Mac
an amazing
songs.
song.
I love driving down the motorway. to
Yeah,
that.
it's brilliant.
Belting it out.
It's so good. John Martin, Solid Air, and Led Zeppelin, Babe I'm Gonna Leave You.
Nice.
So those are my 10 favourite songs.
That sounds like a good little track list, actually.
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
alright. It's quite a chill track list. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it is actually. Would you say that they're the songs that influence the music you write?
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah.
How would you describe your music then?
It is, you know, if you listen to those songs, and it's kind of an amalgamation of all of that, you
Right.
know. Just tend to listen. I just a lot of that 70s music really resonates with me, so I love listening to it.
Because I've watched a thing with that you did for was it Burberry Acoustic?
Yeah.
But was that wasn't just you and your girlfriend?
No,
was
that
it?
was with my old band.
Yeah.
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 I used to have a 3-piece.
Yeah.
And that was kind of much more in the Pearl Jam vein. I kind of love grunge music as well, and I love loads of rock like Led Zeppelin, which again kind of harks back to the 70s, but this is the music I like. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because I suddenly thought when you said, "Oh, it's you and your girlfriend," I was like, "Sure, I've seen you with another member."
This stuff is a lot more like that. You know, it's a lot more sort of harmony, folky, pop really. So
Have you got a record deal?
No, we have a management contract at the moment, so
Right.
we're kind of developing before we put anything out there. So there's nothing online.
Right.
So it's quite hard to keep it secret because we have so many songs now that we want to play to people. But
Yeah.
we can't really put it up. So it'll
So
be good when we do.
When's it going up then?
Well,
Tell us.
I think in about half a year's time we'll
Right.
have something like a finished product, which would be really good.
And what's the plan with that? Are you going to sort of showcase it and just do some gigs?
Hopefully get a record deal with it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool. Okay. What music were you into? I didn't say that very well. What music were you into? What I can't say it now. What music were you into growing up? And are you still into it now?
Some of them have stuck by me, like the Beatles, of course. Because I just think if you don't like the Beatles, then you're a bit of a dick. Because they're one of the best bands in the world.
God, you wouldn't like my dad then. He's not a massive fan of the Beatles.
Well, does he like the Stones then?
He's a big Elvis fan actually.
Okay.
Elvis and a bit of the Stones. He doesn't hate the Beatles. He just doesn't love them.
No. I just love them for.
Calling my dad a dick.
I love them. Yeah.
It's fine. I am.
Yeah, I just think the Beatles are a great example of someone that's adapted. Like they've done every style of music pretty much.
Yeah.
In pop. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that what you listened to then? Was your
Yeah, I was listening to a
were your
lot of
parents?
that. My
into
dad,
that?
you know, was in the music business.
Oh right. What did
in
he
the
do
60s
then?
and 70s. He was a singer of a band called Vanity Fair back in the 60s. And they were quite big as well, you know, toured with the Beach Boys and
Wow.
yeah, so
Did they have
Elvis
albums
version,
and
yeah.
stuff?
yeah, they did.
Could you
yeah.
still buy
yeah,
them?
he had
I might have a listen.
he had a couple of million sellers
I'm
actually.
gonna look now.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had some what million?
Million sellers.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it was
God,
really
you've
cool.
kept that secret.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, you know, my dad's sort of a couple of million
Well,
out.
no, it's cool.
Platinum selling, you know, triple platinum selling, isn't it? When it's a million, I think.
I don't know what
No.
they call it now.
Is
It's
it?
different. Isn't that more?
It might be more actually. Quadruple platinum. Isn't platinum 250,000? Don't know. We'll check that out. Okay.
We'll get back to you on that.
We'll get back to you on that one. Flash it up at the end.
Yeah.
Do you have a beauty regime?
Not really.
No.
Like I use a good face cream and.
This is one thing I've noticed about you, said you've got amazing skin.
Thank you.
And it's only because I've worked with you and I've got pretty close to your face and your hair, to be honest with you. But
I try not to eat too much shit, basically. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm not obsessed with it at all.
No. But is there anything you use that you love? Like
I mean, it sounds a bit stupid, but I use this cream from Lush. But the reason I use it is because it's completely natural.
Right.
It actually goes off after a while, so it's really good for your face.
That's not
Stupid. Well,
that sounds quite intelligent thing to
people
do.
say Lush, and they just laugh at you.
Yeah, because you know what,
they
Lush has
actually do
got
some
that
decent stuff.
thing. I think when you walk past Lush, you just smell off, and you're a bit like, whoa, it's a bit
Yeah, it's a bit
overpowering.
intense.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
But they do some good products.
They definitely do.
Yeah. Okay, who's your favourite designers that you would wear?
Right.
'Cause obviously you've done quite a lot of shows and worked
Yeah.
with different people, and you know, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to wear everything that you have to walk down.
No, definitely not.
runway,
I mean, you
yeah.
end up wearing dresses sometimes, and you
Yeah.
can think, how did people buy this? But
Yeah.
people do.
Oh, they do.
So good for them.
Good for you.
Be proud. I mean, I obviously really like Burberry because you can wear most of it. There's something classic about that, just kind of simple clothes you can wear. And I really like Dries Van Noten as well.
Dries is
And I've
good.
done their show a few times. So, yeah.
Do you get given a lot of stuff?
I don't get given a lot of stuff, no.
That's sign language for given.
Yeah. No, I don't get given an awful lot of stuff,
No.
unfortunately.
It's a shame.
If you want to give me anything, go for it.
Sebastian Bryce Models 1.
Yeah.
Okay, list your top 5 films, and if you want to, you can talk about why you've
I have an
chosen
app for that as well.
another app, top
Yeah.
5 film app.
Okay.
Is that a free download or a pay?
Yeah, it's £5 to buy. So, my top 5 films, I really love the Godfather films, specifically number 1 and number 3.
Oh, what happened to number 2?
Yeah, not that into
Not
that.
that
It's a bit shit.
They are amazing though, the Godfather.
Yeah, they are. I love mafia films. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Brilliant.
Don't
Jack
be put off
Nicholson.
by the fact that it's from 1975, where I was like minus 25. So, no. Yeah, that's just a genius story. And then I put down The Shawshank Redemption, which seems to be like everyone's favourite film, but that's because it's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty genius film.
Yeah. And what else? The Pianist. Have you seen that before?
I did see that when it came out, but I've not watched it again since.
It's a World War II film. It's brilliant. Really, really good. Very upsetting, but it's an amazing film. And then I put down Anchorman, because I love that film as well.
Is that
It's Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell? Yeah. Will Farrell.
Yeah.
He's a bit feral.
He's a bit feral.
He's great though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Anchorman.
Oh, you have to see it. I think you'd love it.
Is it funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you've seen it a couple of times, you can just quote a million things off of it. It's amazing.
How old's Anchorman?
I don't know. It's quite old.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few of his films. That's one I haven't seen. I guess he's a newscaster, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Set in the 70s. Very
Right.
funny.
Right, I've asked you the married question already. We've talked about
yeah.
that. Did we
Yeah.
talk about that? No, we did. No, we didn't.
No.
So you're getting married?
I am getting married.
Sorry, girls, but he's getting married. Who proposed? Did you propose?
I proposed, yeah. Yeah, I just come back from New York, and I just decided to do it. I cooked her a nice meal and I proposed to her.
How long have you been together then?
4 years now.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did you think about it on the plane? Were you suddenly like...
No, I bought the ring in New York because we'd kind of been talking about it before.
Ah.
I don't think there's any point proposing if she's not gonna be into the idea of marriage.
Tested
anyway,
the water first.
We kind of had talked about the matter.
Yeah. Do you know when you're going to get married?
I think next year in December. So
Cool. In England?
to wedding. Yeah, down in Somerset.
Okay. One last question.
Yeah.
Describe yourself in one word.
You wouldn't be allowed to say that on camera.
Oh, I don't know. Someone said slapper the other day.
Really? I was going to say something far worse.
She She ended up saying, didn't really say manic in the end, but she said, I was going to say slapper, but maybe you wouldn't use it, but I've kept it in anyway, so it's a tough one.
Yeah, that is really tough. I wish
I have to say, I stole this question off somebody who asked me in Hong Kong when I was there.
What did you say?
I said eclectic,
Oh, right.
because I am a bit
It's
all
hard
over the
because if
place.
you say something, you kind of look like a bit of an idiot. If you say something a bit too
Too profound.
like interesting.
Yeah, like, you know, intellectual.
Yeah. So.
Well, I just think of a word that sort of you feel like sums you up. Could just be mad. That's a word.
Mad, yeah, but I don't think I'm mad.
No,
I think
you're
I'm
not
quite
mad.
rational. But if I said rational, then that's just a bit boring.
No, it's not. It's not. You're rational.
I don't like that.
You don't like
that's
that?
not
Okay,
gonna be
not
my answer,
rational.
Neil.
Okay. Whack whack. Oops. Another word? You haven't got one.
No,
Okay.
I haven't got one.
All right. That's okay. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Actually, that wasn't my final question. My final question is where are you going to next?
I think I'm going to New York next, and then in January I'm going to Milan and Paris
Right. For the shows, right?
for the shows, which is back on for about 3 weeks to a month. So that's.
Do you like doing the shows?
No, not really.
No.
I like doing the actual shows. The whole process of doing castings for ages and gets a bit exhausting after a while, you know, because you do the casting, you do the callback, and then you get the fitting, and then you do the show. Hopefully.
I still don't understand the casting side of it sometimes.
No, I know what you mean.
Like I
Because
was
they've got
saying
your
earlier,
book. Yeah.
they've got your book. They've seen you
I don't
walk
get
down
that,
a runway
yeah.
enough times. I don't understand why they need to then study you for
Yeah.
a bit
I know.
and then go, we'll let you know.
I think they just like to try and make you feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that what you do, casting people?
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, a lot of them are really good.
we like you, we just don't understand your job. Anyway. Well, thanks, Seb. That's
welcome.
the end of our little interview. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Thanks everyone for watching. The lovely Seb Bryce. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Platinum is 1 million albums as well, if you see that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
In the old days, it used to just be called a gold record.
Yeah, it did.
Gold
didn't it?
record.
Gold record.
Gold record.
It's a gold record, isn't it?
Platinum is 1 million selling albums. Shall we?
Yeah.
Shall I do that? Are we still running, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I could cut it. So Platinum is 1 million selling albums.
Yes.
That's what I've just been told by someone from Essex.
Anchorman was released in 2004.
Oh, an Anchorman was released in 2004.
Is that going to be the footnote at the end?
Yeah.
Of the interview? Yeah. Info.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
You're welcome.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Turn it off.